Okay, now that we've drawn our profile or the square that our profile needs to fit in, we're going to start drawing the profile of the bullet. Now remember that you're only drawing half of the bullet because it will revolve around this line right here to make the full bullet on both sides. So think of it like the heart. Okay, there's two ways you can do it. You can draw it with a line tool, or you can do a spline, or I guess really you could combine a little bit of both. So I'm going to do a line on the bottom, and you can see that I can pick any point here, but it does need to start on the line. It can't be up here. It's got to start on the line. And then I'm just going to put a little, what's called a boat tail. If any of you guys have been shooters before, you know what a boat tail is on the back of my projectile. Okay. Now let's show you the spline tool. I could continue, by the way, to make lines. If I wanted to make a groove in it, like a triangle groove, I might come like this and do that right there. And so it would have a groove, a ring that goes around the whole side. And I can still move those around, by the way, after I stop drawing lines. Okay, the next I'm going to show you is the spline tool. This one, instead of straight lines, does curves. So for a second we'll just show you that I could do a curve. Once I'm done drawing the spline, it thinks you want to continue drawing something until you push the enter button. And then I push enter and it's done. Okay, so you can see here we now have a curved line with several points. The first point, this middle point, and the end point. And I can still move those around however I like to do it. And then if I click on the point itself, it gives me this green line that allows me to actually do kind of some funky things with it. Be careful as you monkey with this, because you can twist it to the point where this line comes outside the profile, and you can't have that on your, it won't fit in the barrel of the cannon. Okay, so make sure that you keep that in such a way that it stays inside this original square. Okay, and now let's show you, I'm going to show you the pan just real quick. I just move this down if it starts getting off my screen. And then the escape button on my keyboard is the very top left button on the keyboard to stop panning. I'll do one more thing to show you just as another idea. If I click it, I could do this with a square or a circle. But if I were to make a circle in the side of my projectile like that, and then come here to these scissors, I click on the scissors and I can cut off what I don't want. So what if I'm touching what I don't want, it turns purple, and I would cut that, and then I could cut that. And you can see that it now makes that indentation into the side of it, similar to what was happening here, only it's perfectly round. And I could do the same thing with a square. Half of a square could be in it. And then for the last part, I'll just do a simple little spline that comes from the point. And again, you guys get to pick what your profile is, and you can use one or all of these methods that I'm showing you. Again, I got to press enter to say I'm done with the spline. I can't click again. Just push enter and then it's done. Okay, once you have your profile of what you want your projectile to look like, it has to be solid. You'll notice how when my cursor is on it, it turns gray. This also turns gray, and this turns gray right there, and this one, and that one. I want the main bullet to actually turn gray, so you'll need to watch that. So that makes sure that I'm right. Okay, with the dice, you went ahead and clicked Finish Sketch, and then you were able to click on the solid options. I'm going to go show you that you can go straight to solid options here by clicking on that solid button, and then go straight to a revolve instead of exiting the sketch first. But otherwise, if you click exit the sketch, you would get this same menu, and you would just click revolve again. Okay, so when I click the button, I get this nice window that gives me all the options. The axis that I want to, first I select the profile, and you notice that it's blue. That's where the gray portion of my projectile is. And then I'm going to select the axis that I want my projectile to revolve around, or the pivot point. Those of you who like basketball should understand that. Okay, so when I click that and it's blue, it's now looking for me to select a line. And you can barely see it, but it does turn blue when I select that line. And I click there. Once I do that, it automatically gives me a preview of what it's going to look like if I like what I did. So all you'd have to do if you like it is say OK. Before I do, though, I'm just going to point out that you could change this angle to be more or less. So let's say I only wanted it to go 180 degrees. If I revolve around, you'll see that that's only half of the bullet. So in order for you to get all the way around, it has to go 360 degrees. So don't accidentally change that. And then once those are all selected, you say OK. And that, my friends, is how you do a revolved projectile. You guys can pick any shape you like as long as it stays within that square, and do part 1.